Today, we're jumping straight into quite a stack of sources, actually. We've got articles, new research papers, a bunch of notes, all focused on the AI model space, which has just been moving incredibly fast. We're really zeroing in on what happened between, say, late May and early June 2025.
Yeah, it really has felt like warp speed, hasn't it? You've got the major labs pushing out updates almost constantly, researchers sharing these, well, pretty wild new results.
Yeah.
And, the community just grabs these things and finds surprising ways to use them. Sometimes they go totally viral.
Exactly. So our mission here in this deep dive is really to cut through all that noise. We want to pull out the absolute must-know insights from everything we've gathered, highlight what's actually new capability-wise, show you what these AI tools can do right now, and, keep it accessible but still engaging.
Think of it as like your shortcut to getting properly up to speed on where cutting-edge AI is at, well, this very moment.
Right. Let's dive in then. So starting with the heavy hitters, right? The new wave of general purpose language models. These are the big names everyone talks about. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, XAI. They're all pushing things forward pretty significantly, it seems.
That's right. OpenAI, for instance, they had GPT 4.5 out there. The sources described it as, a powerful research step, definitely showing improvements. But interestingly, the chatter around it suggested it was maybe incredibly expensive to run. And it seems OpenAI is kind of guiding developers towards something else for like day-to-day practical use.
Ah, okay. And that's where GPT 4.1 comes in, because that seems to be the big practical news.
Exactly. That's the one getting the real buzz for actual use. And the key insight here, it's not just a slightly bigger version number. It's that GPT 4.1 apparently brings the ability to process genuinely massive amounts of text. We're talking entire books, huge code bases.
Right, because of that giant context window, the million token one.
Precisely. 1 million tokens. And just to clarify, the context window is like the AI's short-term memory, right, for the conversation or document you're working with. Previous top models, maybe tens, hundreds of thousands of tokens. Still a lot, like a good-sized book.
Got a million. That's a different league. That's processing enormous texts, maybe multiple long documents at once.
Exactly, and retaining the context across all of it. Plus, and this is important, the sources noted GPT 4.1 is faster and more cost-efficient than its predecessors, which makes it the practical upgrade people are actually starting to deploy. That's the real game changer there.
Okay, got it. Meanwhile, Anthropic rolled out Claude 4, Opus, and Sonnet.
Yep, the Claude 4 series. And Claude 4 Opus specifically is being talked about as, quote, the world's best at coding. And apparently it can handle really complex sort of multi-step tasks that run over hours without losing the thread.
Hours. Like you said, a big project and it just keeps working on it. That feels like a major step.
It does. Both Opus and Sonnet are described as hybrid reasoning models. Bit technical, but the takeaway for you is they don't just give an instant answer. For the tough problems, they can kind of think step by step internally, which leads to much better accuracy on complex stuff. They also introduce these thought summaries, which is interesting. Lets you see how the AI got the answer, but without, every single internal calculation. More transparency.
Right. Claude 3.7 had started that hybrid mode, didn't it? Which probably helped with those coding reports people were sharing.
Exactly. So Anthropic's focus seems to be that deep reasoning, handling complexity over time, and showing its work, basically.
Okay. So what about Google? Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Gemini 2.5 Pro also got significant updates. It already had a pretty strong rep, especially for coding. But they introduced this experimental deep think mode. Kind of like Anthropic's approach, it lets Gemini consider multiple possibilities, multiple hypotheses before answering.
Yeah.
Boosts accuracy, particularly on tricky logic and math problems where, older models often just fell flat.
Interesting. So that thinking deeper or showing your work seems like a real trend alongside just raw power.
Definitely. And Google also added thought summaries and really emphasized new safety features, calling it their most secure model family to date. Oh, and the faster, lighter Gemini 2.5 Flash also became generally available around that.
Right. Safety's a big focus, too. And then there's XAI, Elon Musk's company, Grok-3.
Grok-3, built on, well, apparently just massive compute power, like 10 times more than previous models, the sources said. It also has a special think mode. Deliberately takes time, explores alternatives, kind of like how a person might puzzle through something hard. The sources highlighted its performance in tests scoring 93% on a tough math exam, apparently. Top marks on coding benchmarks, too.
93%, okay.
Yeah. And there's also a smaller, more cost-effective Grok-3 Mini mentioned, too.
So, okay, we've got these new models, more powerful, bigger memories. They reason more deeply. Some even show they're thinking. But what does this actually look like out in the world? What are people doing with these things that's catching attention, going viral?
Yeah, the viral use cases are where it gets really tangible, right?
Right.
For OpenAI, even that research preview of GPT-4.5 made waves because its creative writing went viral. Remember that demo where it supposedly perfectly mimicked fictional characters?
Oh, yeah, that Rick and Morty script. People were sharing that everywhere, saying it nailed the humor, the voices.
Exactly. Showed off its improved natural writing, its ability to capture like subtle tones. And don't forget the DALL-E 3 integration in ChatGPT earlier that led to that huge wave of viral AI images, like those amazing Studio Ghibli-style scenes people were making just by typing prompts. Even OpenAI's CEO shared some.
Right, right. It shows these models aren't just answering questions anymore. They're producing really shareable creative stuff that taps into pop culture.
Totally. You give millions of people a powerful creative tool, they're going to make cool stuff and weird stuff.
Yeah. What about Claude? You mentioned agentic capabilities. What does agentic really mean here?
Good question. For you listening, think of agentic as the AI moving beyond just chat or text generation. It's about its ability to plan and then take actions to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
Maybe interact with tools or digital environments.
Okay. So from chat to action.
Exactly. And there was serious buzz among developers about demos of Claude 3.7, the one with a hybrid mode. Apparently, it auto-generated a working snake video game right there inside the chat window, wrote the code, executed it interactively.
What? It just built and ran the game based on instructions. That's wild.
Yes. And another story that got shared a lot was about a startup. They had this back-end bug, stumped their engineers for days. They reportedly gave it to Claude, and it identified and fixed the problem in minutes.
Wow. Okay.
These are pretty compelling examples, right? AI doing complex tasks autonomously, coding, debugging, potentially more. It's a real glimpse of how LLMs might do things, not just talk.
That's, both slightly unnerving and incredibly cool. And Gemini. Its viral moments were more multimodal.
Yeah, Gemini fueled viral content with demos showing off its ability to understand different types of input. People shared videos of Gemini 2.5 analyzing images or using that deep think mode to solve really complex math problems step by step, stuff earlier models just couldn't touch.
Kind of reminds me of those older GPT-4 vision demos, too, like analyzing hand-drawn memes or debugging circuits from photos. Still impressive.
Exactly. These cross-modal things, understanding visuals and text and acting on them, shows surprising skills emerging across different areas.
And Grok-3, buzz mainly on X Twitter, right? Driven by its personality.
Oh, absolutely. Once the free beta opened up, people jumped on it, partly because Grok is designed to be, well, witty, sometimes a bit uncensored. Users loved sharing screenshots of its funny or unexpected answers, and there was that widely shared screenshot, I think, on Reddit, showing Grok-3 solving a tricky riddle, but also displaying its detailed thinking process. That transparency was fascinating to people.
So even if it wasn't maybe dethroning the others technically yet, that transparency, the style, plus the hype around its upcoming Telegram integration.
Yeah, definitely made it a big talking point. Reaching Telegram's user base could be huge for it.
Okay, so these new LLMs, smarter, bigger context, deeper reasoning, showing their work, sometimes taking action, all leading to these viral moments that really showcase what's new.
Precisely. And building on that creative side, that interactive theme,
Yeah.
that leads us perfectly into the next big area, text to video.
Absolutely. Take us into the world of AI-generated moving pictures. Feels like it's just exploding right now.
It really is. Text to video models. Well, they do what they say on the tin. You type a description, AI makes a video. Key players mentioned in the sources: Google, OpenAI, Runway, Luma AI, lots of others too. But those saw big updates.
And Google's Veo 3 sounds like it's pushing beyond just the visuals.
Yeah, described as state-of-the-art, fidelity improved, consistency's better. But the huge breakthrough highlighted for Veo 3 is audio generation. You can put dialogue or music prompts right into your text description. And Veo 3 generates the video with matching sound.
So you could type like a cat chasing a laser pointer across a wooden floor with playful cartoon sound effects, and it generates the video and the sounds.
Exactly. One-shot creation of short clips, visuals, and audio integrated. And it's not just a lab demo. Companies like Klarna, Kraft Heinz, they're reportedly already using Veo, cutting video production for marketing from weeks to like hours.
Wow. Okay, still short clips, 720p, but integrated audio is a big step for actually using it.
Definitely. Meanwhile, OpenAI's Sora, which, flew everyone away with its initial demos, is actually starting to reach users.
Right, getting integrated into ChatGPT for Plus users.
Yes. And its big thing, still, is the ability to make videos up to 1 minute long. With really impressive visual quality and consistency, it's designed to understand and simulate physics, camera moves. Remember those demos? The detailed Tokyo street, the woolly mammoths.
Oh, yeah, those were stunning.
So putting that into ChatGPT means potentially anyone could soon generate pretty high-quality short videos just by asking the chatbot. Lowers the barrier massively.
That's huge for creativity, accessibility. What about Runway? They've been around in this space.
Runway released Gen 3 Alpha to the public. Their angle seems to be making this tech practical and controllable for creators. Sources noted Gen 3 Alpha Turbo is way faster, like 7 times faster, and half the cost of their older versions. Makes it much more usable for actually making stuff, iterating. Plus, they added more fine-grained controls, keyframe guidance, these motion brush tools.
Motion brush, what's that let you do?
Lets you guide movement, like paint a path for the camera or specify how an object should move in the scene. So you could take a still photo of a landscape and use motion brush to tell it, fly the camera forward smoothly through this valley, and it generates the video.
Okay, that's pretty cool control.
And making that available publicly for like $15 a month, that's really democratizing access to quite sophisticated AI video tools.
Definitely. And Luma AI's Dream Machine, getting lots of buzz for aesthetics, smoothness.
Yeah, Luma AI comes from a 3D tech background, and Dream Machine really shines with stylized video, super smooth camera moves, and making sure things look consistent, like they exist in a real 3D space. Their big feature getting attention is camera motion concepts. Lets you specify complex moves, dolly, zoom, orbit, even like FPV drone shots.
That explains those crazy infinite zoom videos I've seen everywhere.
Exactly. Those mesmerizing clips are often Dream Machine. It's making AI video editing really user-friendly, but with a focus on high aesthetic quality and dynamic camera work.
So we've got models adding audio, doing longer videos, focusing on speed and control for creators, focusing on aesthetics and camera. How are people using all this to actually get noticed online?
Well, we're seeing a huge wave of AI-generated shorts hitting TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, everywhere. Those endless Zoom videos from Luma.
Yeah.
Millions of views just because the effect is so visually captivating, sort of impossible feeling. Other viral clips reportedly using models like Alibaba's Yuan 2.1 show these surreal scenes, cats boxing, dogs riding bicycles, complex action, multiple subjects. The novelty factor is huge.
Yeah, I've seen comments under those videos, people saying, this looks like a Pixar short.
Exactly. AI can now create original animated characters, bring these wild ideas to life with a polish that just wasn't there months ago. That sheer creative potential, making the impossible possible visually, is driving viral content. Imaginary movie trailers, crazy music videos.
And it's not just quirky shorts, is it? People are creating whole virtual identities.
That's another big emergent use case. AI avatars, virtual influencers. Sources mentioned a YouTube avatar called Sora-chan, supposedly using models like Sora. Posts vlog-style clips. The avatar talks synthesized voice, the background movement, all AI-generated, blurs the lines.
Wow. So you could basically direct your own animated show starring a virtual version of yourself, all AI-powered.
Pretty much. And on Chinese social media, users of Tencent's HunyuanVideo, they're using the HunyuanVideo avatar model. They feed in their own voice recording, and it generates an animated character performing those lines, lip-synced with movement. That's gone viral for self-expression, parody, like making anime characters deliver famous historical speeches, millions of views from the novelty, the mashup.
Feels like a totally new kind of creative tool landing directly in people's hands, and companies are using it for marketing too.
Yes, and the ads themselves get attention because they're AI-made. Klarna put out an ad, apparently entirely generated by VO3 and Imagen 4. Marketing team did it in hours, not weeks, looked professional enough for TV, and they shared how they made it, adding to the buzz.
Right, highlights the speed and cost savings. Coca-Cola did a teaser with Runway too, didn't they?
Yep, that melting popsicle one used Gen 2. So
Yeah.
marketers are definitely jumping on this for real campaigns.
Yeah.
Cuts time, cuts cost. And the AI-made angle is its own hook right now.
And the community's driving things too, with challenges and experiments.
Definitely. AI art communities are running things like text-to-video challenges. People use accessible models, Mochi, Cog X, create clips on a theme, share results, compare models. It's like community-driven marketing benchmarking. And the feedback helps the developers improve things faster. It's a whole ecosystem.
Incredible how fast text-to-video went from lab demos to viral content and actual marketing campaigns. Just wild.
Indeed. Now, stepping back a bit,
Hmm.
it's not just about the biggest general models or the flashy video stuff. A really important part of this recent wave is the progress in more specialized AIs, ones that handle different data types or focus on niche tasks. And crucially, the rise of open source models putting powerful tech into many more hands.
Like Alibaba's Qwen 3 family, that being open source feels like a big deal for access.
Absolutely. Qwen 3 is open source, a major upgrade, comes in various sizes, some very large.
Yeah.
Like the Anthropic model, sources say they feature hybrid AI reasoning. But a really unique breakthrough here is this configurable thinking budget. You can literally tell the AI how long to spend thinking about a complex query before it answers.
So you can choose quick draft versus a deeply considered response, depending on the task.
Precisely. Plus, Qwen 3 supports, like 119 languages. And benchmarks mentioned in the sources show it competing with top Western proprietary models on coding and math, making that open. Huge for the community, for researchers, a powerful multilingual foundation anyone can build on.
And in video, besides the big closed models, open source is moving fast too. Genmo's Mochi 1.
Yes, Mochi 1 is specifically an open source video model. And for an open model, sources highlighted its strong, prompt following, good motion fidelity compared to older attempts. What makes it significant is accessibility. Runs on a single high-end GPU, puts advanced video generation in reach for hobbyists, indie creators, researchers without massive compute budgets. It's become a real testbed. And they're already teasing Mochi 2 longer, higher-res video.
Tencent also has an open video AI, HunyuanVideo.
Right, another big open model. What's really notable are its recent extensions. They released Hunyuan Custom, lets you guide video creation with more than text, like sketches or maps for composition. And more recently, HunyuanVideo Avatar. That's the audio-driven human animation model.
Audio-driven animation. So take a voice recording, make an avatar speak the words.
Exactly. Creates virtual humans that lip-sync and emote based on audio input. Super relevant with VTubers, virtual presenters, AI commentary channels taking off. HunyuanVideo and its parts show a systematic approach to adding specialized abilities, controllable generation, virtual humans from audio to the open source world.
And Alibaba's not just Qwen 3, they also have 2.1, another open model, image and video.
2.1, yeah. Another significant open release from Alibaba Cloud.
Yeah.
Has both image and video. Very versatile, and performs incredibly well, apparently ranked #1 on VBench, a key video benchmark. Excels at complex motion, multiple subjects. Those dogs riding bikes examples again.
Yeah.
And a really cool, specialized breakthrough for 2.1. It can render legible English and Chinese text inside the video. That's something generative models have always struggled with. It even does ambient audio. 2.1 really shows a well-funded open model can challenge the closed ones on quality and features across different modalities.
Okay, so beyond the big chatbots and video generators, there's this whole rich, accessible ecosystem of specialized and open source models emerging. What kind of cool or unexpected uses are popping up?
Well, Qwen 3, being open and multilingual, is finding interesting niches. Data analysis is one. Saw a viral post, I think, on Reddit, where someone used the Open32B version of Qwen 3, fed it this massive, messy 50,000-row Excel sheet, and just by prompting got it to generate a coherent natural language report summarizing the data.
Analyzing a spreadsheet that big just by asking, that makes powerful data analysis accessible to way more people, not just data scientists.
Exactly. Highlights potential beyond just chat. Another small viral moment was Qwen 3 apparently answering some obscure trivia question, mixing Chinese poetry and calculus. Shows how these models can sometimes excel on really specialized cross-domain queries.
And the open video models, Mochi, HunyuanVideo, driving lots of community content.
Totally. You see impressive stuff shared widely, often with how-to details. A fantasy short dragon over a castle made with Mochi plus stable diffusion went viral because the quality was amazing for open source tools. And HunyuanVideo Avatar, that really took off on Chinese TikTok. Users making anime characters deliver famous speeches, like Churchill, millions of views from the novelty, the parody, culturally resonant stuff.
And 2.1 seems like it's everywhere now, just because it's open and so capable.
There's definitely been a 2.1 storm online. YouTube, Bilibili, flooded with compilations showing user outputs, sci-fi battles, fantasy scenes, titles marveling at what the free AI can do. That viral meme video of AI-generated Chinese street graffiti coming alive, that was 2.1. Plus, the community's building on top of it. Fine-tunes like cause Laura that make Juan's videos smoother, faster. Those are going viral too within the AI crowd. Fuels more interest, more development.
Right, that self-reinforcing cycle. Create, share, improve, driven by the community.
Exactly. And just quickly, sources also mentioned other specialized LLMs making news. A prototype medical LLM reportedly passing the USMLE exam. A code-focused model, Wizard Coder 2.0, shown solving competitive programming problems live, sometimes beating humans. These hyper-specialized models are popping up alongside the general ones, sometimes outperforming them on their specific niche, hints at a future with lots of expert AIs.
Wow. So in just this, couple of weeks, late May, early June 2025, we've seen huge leaps. General LLMs get more thoughtful, massive memory. Text-to-video gets audio, longer clips. And this whole landscape of specialized open-source AI is just flourishing.
The pace is, yeah, truly remarkable. These aren't just research papers anymore.
Hmm.
These capabilities are landing in tools you might already use, almost overnight it feels like. It's rapidly changing how we might create content, consume it, analyze information, even just interact with digital assistants day to day.
So when you think about models that can summarize a 50,000-row spreadsheet from a simple question, or generate a professional-looking video ad in hours, or create virtual characters that speak your words, the real takeaway isn't just the tech demo, is it? It's the immediate accessibility of things that felt like sci-fi just, weeks ago.
Exactly. And what does that rapid accessibility mean for how you might create or learn or work, starting basically now? That's the provocative thought these sources kind of leave us mulling over.
It certainly is something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the latest AI breakthroughs.
Stay curious.